I basically just ate less. Hey, hi, hello, what is up you guys? It's Krista Sue. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. In a couple of my past few videos, I have mentioned that I have recently lost 50 pounds, and I asked you guys if you would be interested in hearing how I went about doing that and how I feel about it, and you guys seemed pretty interested, so here we are. I've kind of been putting off making this video because I feel like I have so much to say about it. Unfortunately, my weight and the way that I look and how I feel about how I look have kind of consumed a majority of the years of my life. And I feel like it's such an important part of my story to talk about my experience with weight loss and dieting and body image. So I am going to talk about like some brief parts about my childhood that have led up to this point. And if you don't want to hear about my childhood trauma, I totally get it. You can skip to here. And if you are still here, thanks, we'll get through this together. I'm like nervous. I don't usually talk about this to anyone, so hello internet. That seems like a good place to start. So it basically all started when I was born. I came out of the womb fat and insecure. No, I'm kidding. I was pretty normal when I was really young. I was always kind of a little bit chubbier, but it wasn't anything to be concerned about until I was like 8 or 9, and that is when my family started moving around a lot. I have moved a lot in my life. I've lived in 6 different states and moved within the state to different cities and stuff, so I have moved a lot. But when we first started moving, my family and I, we were so sad and lonely because we didn't have any friends or family where we were. We all kind of started using food as a mechanism to make us happy. Like whenever I was sad, my family would be like, oh, like let's go get you a bag of candy, that'll make you feel better. Or my mom would make me a huge breakfast just to like remind me that like she loved me so much, you know? So yeah, that really created just an unhealthy relationship with food from the get-go. And because of that, I did start gaining weight like really rapidly. So being the new kid is not really what the movies make it out to be. At least it wasn't for me. Every single time I moved to a new place, I would always hope for a new start because no one knew me, and like I always hoped that things would be better, and they never were. People always treated me bad no matter where I moved to. From a really young age, I was forced to kind of think about why my peers didn't like me wherever I went, because you know, when you're young, the first thing you think is like, oh, what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong to make these people not like me? Now that I'm older, I can reflect and see like it wasn't me. No one should ever treat someone differently because they look different. That's just fucked up, to be completely honest. But I had to think like, why aren't these people being nice to me? And the only thing I could ever come up with was that I wasn't pretty and I was fat, and like that started when I was like 9. So from that age till now, I have always really struggled with feeling like I need to look a certain way to get people to like me. And that is a really toxic trait of mine, honestly. I've gotten a lot better that I've been growing older and getting more comfortable with myself, but like for my entire life, I've always been so caught up in making sure that I look absolutely perfect so that no one has a reason to be mean to me, because I'm so used to people being mean to me because of the way that I looked. And that was really hard. So yeah, anyway, I had a really unhealthy relationship with food. I always used it to make me happy, and because I wasn't really gaining a lot of friendships throughout this time of my life where I was moving a lot, I was really lonely and I just ate all the time, and I was really unhealthy. And I was actually so unhealthy that around the age of 12, I was getting gallbladder attacks, which is where your cholesterol is so high that your body is forming little cholesterol balls, and those get pushed through your gallbladder, and they were giving me attacks in my stomach. So I had to get my gallbladder removed, and throughout that time and throughout like all of elementary school and stuff, you know, you have to get physicals, and I would be at the doctor and they would just be sitting there telling me like that I was really overweight, that I was unhealthy, and then if I ever talked about how depressed I was, they'd be like, oh well, like you're overweight, that is why you are depressed. And they would tell my mom like, you need to take care of this soon or else like she's gonna be diabetic, she'll be like this her entire life, it'll only get worse. And like I heard that repeatedly in my head, and that like really sucked, obviously, just sitting there at a really young age and having the doctor telling you like that you're obese and that you're not like how you're supposed to be. Yeah, and after I got my gallbladder removed, it kind of showed my family and I that I did need to be healthier, and that's when I started dieting at the ripe age of 12 years old. For the last 10 years, I have done every single diet that you could think of, and my weight has fluctuated in between this like 70-pound span. Yeah, I basically just like was always thinking about how I could make my body look better, how I could like drop 10 pounds, you know? Yeah, that's just like all that's been on my mind for the last like 10 years. Around my senior year of high school, I did lose weight in kind of a healthier way. I tried out for my school's cheer team just because, like, for the heck of it, really, I just always wanted to be a cheerleader, so I did it, and I made our competition team. And so I was working out regularly. I lost like 20 or 30 pounds, and I was about a size 10. I was eating relatively healthy too. And yeah, I got to a point where I was like healthy, and then I started college at about the same size. And during my freshman year of college, I got even skinnier. I was about 170 pounds and a size 8, which isn't thin to a lot of people. It's like really average, but that was very, very thin for me. And I did not get to that point in a healthy way, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, that was the thinnest I had ever been. That summer, before my sophomore year of college, I was like really consumed with like working out and being healthy and being fit, which was good because I didn't get to that thin point before that by being super healthy and working out and eating well. And then I got into my sophomore year of college and I started gaining the weight back because I lived in my sorority house and like the food was really good, and I was binge drinking and eating Pizza Hut like it was nobody's business. So obviously, yeah, I gained the weight back. Yeah, I gained the weight back, and I didn't even realize it at first when it started happening. I was completely oblivious to the fact that I was treating my body like a garbage can. After I had gained like 30 pounds, I started really realizing that I was getting chubbier again, but I didn't do anything to change it. And I always like would start working out and eating healthy again, but I never really did it. And I feel like what was really holding me back was, for the longest time, I was so mad at myself because my freshman year of college, I had finally gotten the one thing in life that I had always wanted. I was thin, I was skinny, you know. That's all I ever wanted growing up, and I feel like I let it slip through my fingers, which is so unhealthy because I was idolizing this person that I was at a time in my life where like I was treating my body the worst. Honestly, I was binge drinking 3 times a week. I was abusing Adderall daily. I was on antidepressants and shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. I was so depressed and lonely, and I was just treating my body so horribly. Emotionally, I was doing bad, but I was skinny, and that was all I wanted, and that is so unhealthy. Yeah, I just was so angry with myself for so long because I let that person that I wanted to be go away and gained the weight back. It's been like 4.5 years since I was at my thinnest, and I did gain 60 pounds. And about 9 months ago, I made the decision to try and lose the weight and be healthy again and live a healthier lifestyle. I think that losing 50 pounds in that span of time, although it is kind of quick, I don't think it was so rapid that it was unhealthy, but I did have to make some pretty big lifestyle changes in order to make it happen. I just had to look at my relationship with food objectively, and I saw that I was using it as a way to cope and distract myself from my loneliness and my anxiety, and I couldn't let that happen anymore. I had to cope in a much healthier way. Instead of using food, I had to use food to fuel my body, which is what it's there for. Obviously, like, food tastes good and it's okay to indulge every once in a while, but that can't be the only thing you do. Yeah, I had to look at it as a way to fuel my body. With that being said, I did have to cut my calories a lot. If your main goal is to lose weight, you need to consume less calories than your body is burning off. I'm not like a nutritionist or anything, so don't come for me, but 1 pound is equivalent to like, I think about 3,000 calories, somewhere around there. So if you wanted to lose 2 pounds a week, you would need to either eat 6,000 calories less than you burn off that week, or burn 6,000 calories more than you eat, basically. So yeah, I had to like make some really big changes with the food that I'm eating, and I'm going to show you guys like a what I eat in a day to lose weight so you guys can get a better idea of that and like more in depth. I've been eating like 1,200 calories a day, and like sometimes I'll eat 1,500, but I honestly chill out at around like 1,200, 1,100. And I know that sounds like a really small amount, but my basal metabolic rate, which is how many calories I burn, my body burns just like sitting down all day, is really, really low. I have a really slow metabolism, and I promise you guys, I eat when I'm hungry, and I eat till I'm full, and I don't like starve myself. There have been a few times definitely where I caught myself letting myself be hungry because like I got some like weird sick satisfaction out of it, knowing that I was gonna wake up with a flatter stomach the next morning. But whenever I did that, I would check myself and be like, hey, you're not doing this to be skinny, you're doing this to make your body feel better and feel better about yourself. And you're not gonna feel better about yourself if you starve yourself and get to the point that you were at in an unhealthy way again. You know, I wanted to feel satisfied with the way that I went about losing weight. I don't even know if this is really advice. I'm just like telling you guys, like, I cut my calories and was eating healthier than I did before, but really it's that simple. If you want to lose weight, you need to be consistent at eating less calories than you burn. And obviously you can work out to help aid in that. Unfortunately, I kind of was working out off and on, but it wasn't a huge part in my losing weight. It was mostly just choosing to eat healthier foods and less of them. But I do want to incorporate working out into my routine now so that I can tone my body a lot more and like get my cardio up, you know, don't want to die of heart disease. So I basically just ate less for 9 months, and I was consistent about it. There were definitely times where I hit a plateau and I felt like, you know, like I'm done, like I can't do this anymore, my body doesn't want me to, but I just had to pivot and adjust what I was doing. But yeah, it really just comes down to being honest with yourself and your actions and what you're doing to your body, and then changing them if it's not healthy. I have no idea if this video is helpful. I'm literally just like, eat less, but it's really that simple. It's just a means of how you go about eating less, I guess. Some tips I have for people that are trying to lose weight is to have an accountability partner. It's just good to have someone there to like keep you accountable and like check up on you and see how you're doing both mentally and physically, you know, and just like staying on track with your goals. Also, another tip, weight doesn't matter as much as measurements do. Obviously, if you're working out, like you could be gaining muscle and not losing weight, but your body will become more toned and you'll lose fat on certain areas and you'll get smaller. I've lost like 25 inches off my entire body since I lost the weight. When I say I lost 50 pounds and I'm now 178 pounds, that's still like really heavy and it doesn't seem as impressive, but I measured myself and I'm down 25 inches off of my entire body, and like that's feels so much better to me, you know? So you can just think about it either way, whatever makes you feel better, but just know that like if you're just because you're not losing weight on the scale doesn't mean that you're not reaching your goals necessarily. Also, if you are like looking at the weight on the scale, don't weigh yourself every day. Like sometimes I would catch myself like weighing myself every day and being like, oh my god, I gained 0.4 pounds. What did I do? But literally you could just poop and that would be gone. So just maybe weigh yourself every like week and a half or something, just to make sure you are like, you know, like just keeping yourself accountable. Also, like my last tip, don't beat yourself up if you eat a lot one night with your friends, you know, like you're like watching movies or something, or you get high and you just get the munchies or something. Do not beat yourself up over that. That's not gonna kill all of your progress, I promise. I know it feels like it will. You will wake up feeling bloated the next morning, but like that'll go away. Just hop back on the horse and keep on doing what you're doing and stay consistent, because you will see progress. But unfortunately, it isn't as fast as you want it to be. I know you want it to be at the snap of your fingers, but that's just not going to happen. I promise. I wish it did, but if you stick with it and stay consistent and work on yourself along the way, you will notice so much change more than just your body. You'll just feel so much more acceptance for yourself. You'll feel so proud that you got to the point where you are. I feel like I rambled so much in this video. I'm sorry if it wasn't helpful at all, but it honestly felt pretty good to kind of get out my experience with weight loss and dieting and growing up and being bullied for the way that I looked. I hope that this video helped just at least one person. That would make me so happy. I know that this is such a struggle for so many people in this day and age, and it's so sad. If you get anything from this video, I hope it's that it's so important to treat everyone exactly the same, no matter what they look like. We can't take our bodies and our looks with us when we leave this world. All we'll have is our like soul, really, and that's what's really important. Yeah, You can expect a What I Eat in a Day video coming soon. If you have any requests for videos that you'd like me to make, you can leave them in the comment section down below. And if you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And subscribe if you want to. If not, I get it. But yeah, I hope you liked this video and got something out of it, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.